Hi guys, welcome back. I'm now in my gallery in Hythe, and I just wanted to show you around and bring you up to speed with some of the changes that I've been making. Earlier, of course, I was on the beach with the dog and it was absolutely stunning morning. Love it. It's got a bit cloudy up there now, but hey, it's the way it goes. But I love getting over there, love my walks, and I love painting over there from time to time. But that's in the past, and I've shown you that. So let's move forward, and I'm going to show you around the gallery and try and explain what's been going on, what I've been doing, why I've been doing it, and all about my upcoming 50% sale on the 8th of October. So stay tuned. Okay guys, I'm going to give you a little guided tour around the changes of the gallery, and unfortunately for the first part you got yours truly in the shop. There's not a lot I can do about that, and I'm actually filming it on my phone, and I've got a new gimbal that I've been playing with for the last month or so. I'm still learning about that. I'm very unpracticed, so if the filming goes a little bit silly, you'll understand why. But I was sort of considering for a while whether I wanted to shut the gallery down and retire in a way. It's been crossing my mind. I've been here for 12 years, and I felt that as much as I enjoy it all, I would like to give myself some more me time for painting. And I have, in the last few months, or a couple of months, if you've been following me on the channel, I've been sort of sorting out a space at home in my big garage and turning that into a gallery, not a gallery, but a studio and teaching space. And I was planning to close this down. Now, friends of mine who've got shops that we've sort of been with each other as friends in our shops for many, many years, decided they didn't really want me to go. So we decided to give everything a little bit more thought. And what I've done is I have taken everything off the wall, redesigned the whole aspect. I want to make the whole thing a lot more homely. I've got a couple of chairs to go in over here, which you'll see in boxes. They've just arrived. That chest is going very, very shortly. I put things like these lovely Asian rugs in. And one thing more, every week I used to tear all this place apart because we used to set up for the tables for teaching. And I decided, after a little bit of thought, a little bit of measuring, that what I would do is I would take my teaching out through here. So that was cleared out. It's an absolute mess right now. But I cleared that all out, and all my teaching is up, and the tables are up permanently. So I don't really need to think about having to take everything apart. So this whole gallery space will remain as it is. So on the 8th of October, I have the plan to start a sale, not just in the gallery, but on my website, and it will be put out on social media, all of those places that can best support the process of promoting it. And the idea is that over 12 years, I mean, don't get me wrong, I sell art through here. Of course I do, and I've got collectors the world over. But it is absolutely stunning idea that I keep painting, and I want to paint more. But I've got so little room. I've been so prolific, especially when it comes to all the demonstration pieces. I've been doing YouTube for nearly, well, just over 3 years, I think. And I have done lots of streaming. And every time I do these things, they create lots of work. And, you know, as much as you sell some, I create way more than I sort of sell. So I decided that I actually need the space if I'm staying down here. and keep going. And certainly if I decided to at some point retire home, I actually needed some space. So what I've decided to do, long story short, is come the 8th of October, all the paintings certainly you see on the walls here, and many, many more besides, will be going up for half their normal price. It's a big kick in terms of selling prices for me personally, but it also gives the collectors and those who like my work and have wanted to collect it for years but couldn't afford it, gives you chance now to purchase my originals, watercolor, oil and acrylic, and pastels. I'll just see one on the wall there, at a much reduced price, and to either add to your collection or indeed to start a new collection. So that's the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on putting this together, empty those boxes with the chairs, and I'll come back and show you a few pictures individually before we finish this and wrap this little vlog up. Hi guys, and welcome back to the gallery. Now it's a few days on since I last added a little bit to this vlog, and I'm back in the gallery again, and I'm sort of going around and crossing I's and dotting T's with not just the look but also sorting out some of the many pictures that are going to be in the sale. Now that sale starts on Saturday the 8th of October, and there will be a certain amount in there to start with, but I will be adding to the picture list as we go forward. Now, this sale will start on the 8th, but it goes all the way through to the end of the year. And I will be drip feeding paintings in at different times, not just on my website and not just in the gallery, but also on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm going to be posting them everywhere. So if you fancy owning one that is going to cost you a lot less than normal, then that's the time to grab a bargain. If you see one, don't hesitate and get it, because somebody else will and beat you to the post. So yeah, anyway, enough of the plugging and enough of the sales pitch. I'm thinking now I'm going to go home and not going to put my feet up. That'd be nice. But I'm going to, I think, play around with a bit of watercolor just to finish this vlog off for you guys, and yeah, get it out there with a little bit of watercolor painting. I'm thinking I've got lots of offcuts of paper, you know, where I've been trimming down from other pieces. I don't throw them all away, so I'm thinking that I might just play around and sort of suggest to you guys that don't throw any paper away. If it's got a little bit of size to it, you can make so much from it. So it is worth playing around with that. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home, play around with a bit of watercolor on some offcuts of paper. Catch all of you very, very soon back in the studio. Hi guys, well I've just come back from the gallery and I'm sitting at my desk all ready to have a little play around with some watercolor. Now I know I said back at the gallery that I wanted to talk to you about using scraps of paper up. And before you say anything, yes, I know I've done a video on this before, and I've also done one on skies before. I'll put the links to those up there if you want to look at those. You'd be welcome to have a look, and I hope you enjoy them. The thing is that using scraps of paper is really quite useful. But I want to give you a bit of a warning, and that's why I'm doing and touching upon it right now, because recently, as I often do, I go to my drawer, pull out some scraps. I might do a greetings card for somebody, I might do a little mini original, or I might just have a little bit of a practice. And I did just that. And the thing is that when I started on the paper, I suddenly realized something was quite seriously wrong. The sizing had gone off. It had just gone. And the whole of that paper and quite a few other pieces were also affected. The trouble is when you look at watercolor paper, to my knowledge, you don't actually know if the sizing's there or not. You hope to heck that it really is still there and unaffected. But on these occasions, when it happens, there's nothing you can do except throw it away. Unless, of course, it is a piece of hot press, in which case you can do other things like color pencil and things like that upon it later on, but that doesn't rely on the sizing which you would need for watercolor. So what I'm trying to say is that my draw was affected. I don't think it's got damp anywhere. Until recently it's been in my gallery and it's been very dry there, and to the greater extent this garage or the studio is also very dry. So I'm guessing it's probably I've had them in there way too long, and that's what I'm saying. By all means, save all your scraps, all your little offcuts, all the bits of paper you take off of bigger sheets, save them, but don't save them for too long. Get them used up and enjoy that process before nature or the product just gives over and the sizing disappears on you. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to have a little play around as I suggested I would do. I just want to do a little painting just to finish off this vlog for you, and hope you enjoy it. Hope you get something from it. It's not going to be a major piece, just going to be a splash around, do a couple of skies as I used to do. So catch you all in the next video. Take care. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget, if you do, thumbs up, comments by all means, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget the Patreon, well worth checking out. Take care. See you in the next one. Okay, so what I've got is just an odd piece of heavyweight paper. This is a 300-pound, I believe it's a piece of arch paper, and it has been in my drawer, and I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong with the size on this. This shouldn't be. It's really high quality. It shouldn't be affected, but in case it is, then you'll understand exactly what I meant. I've not taped it down totally around. It is heavy and it's not going to buckle, and at the same time this is only a bit of a lark about, so let's press on. What I'm going to do is wet the paper firstly, just get some clean water on there, although my water, I've got to say, looking at it coming off the brush here, is a little bit dirty. So we've already affected our white paper. Look at that. I should have checked before I started, but I did say it's a bit of a lark around, bit of a sort of, I don't know, bit of practice, bit of sky practice. And I'm going to come in with some lovely cobalt blue, and I'm going to create a little bit of the sense of that cloud on the opposite, on the page there, just to try. I'm not going to try and mimic every part of it. I'm just going to literally play around with the idea of this heavy sort of stormy cloud that's building up. I think cumulonimbus, I believe. Don't get me, don't write in if I got that wrong. I quite possibly have, but I just wanted to suggest what we've got going on with this lovely cloud. And I'm coming in with the blue, and I'm going to touch maybe just a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe no, a little bit of yellow ochre, not too much. I don't want too much. I want it very pale. Just a suggestion, just to change that down a gear as that comes down to what would be a piece of land, but it's headland, taking it all the way under through here. Now I've got to put other colors in, but I do like the way this is, and the cloud itself did actually continually morph and change the head, the anvil head. It was really heavy at one point, and at the point of this photograph it was actually starting to break up a little bit. Not a problem. I took a whole raft of pictures on this particular cloud on this particular day, and as it built and built and built, eventually when I was doing a plein air in oil, and I didn't realize how far it had come too close to me, and I actually got soaked at the end of the day. But never mind, it's the way things are. This was actually seen at the bottom of my garden, and I see so many beautiful vistas or cloudscapes across the rolling marshes towards the downs, as the photograph suggests. I see so many all year round at different times, and they're never ever dull. They always inspire. I'm just coming in, and I put a little bit of alizarin to my mix of blue there, and there's also a little bit of raw sienna just in the bottom of that mix, and this is just playing around, just having a little bit of fun. Nothing too much, nothing too heavy, nothing to get upset over or obsessed, you know, sort of fractious about and worry about it. If it doesn't work out, it's a scrap piece of paper. Throw it in the bin. It doesn't matter. Get another piece out, have another go. But every time you do this, you're just finding out something new. You're learning something about the paper. You're learning something about the paint and the way that it works and how you can change things, add things. Not trying to get cauliflowers by adding a little bit more paint in, as I've just done on this one here. Just a little bit more paint, a little less water. Let them flow together. I'm not overly worried about that aspect because the paint or the surface of the paper is still quite wet anyway. So it's not going to cause me too many problems. I think I'm getting a little bit blue. I'm going to put a little bit of vermilion. Now vermilion is a red and it does tend to make a purple. But because it's got yellow in it as well, it's going to corrupt that purple and make it a bit of a grey, dirty purple. So I don't want that pure purple. I want to shift it off its base. So I've just added one of the other, or the remaining colour of the colour wheel that wasn't present before. It is present now, and that's what's corrupted that mix. Okay, so now popping back and popping down in size of brush to a smaller round brush. This is pretty much dry, but not dry enough to not have further influence on the spread of water. There's a little dampness in the surface. What I'm just going to pop in and do is just add in a little bit. That's a little bit dark, a little bit dull. Let's come back in with a bit of blue, a bit of violet. It's gone a bit grey. So I want to get some colour back into that if I can. A little bit more blue into there. A little bit of magenta just to bring it back to the violet again. And you can play around with this idea as much or as little as you want to. But we're creating a lovely little landscape. Now this is based, in fact, upon the sort of hills behind my home. And these are the North Downs. And if I've said anything else, I do apologise, but they are the North Downs. And I'm going to come with a little bit more orange into some of that just to warm up. And I'm guessing that the photograph was taken maybe autumn time last year. And so we're getting a little bit of colour in some of the leaves on the trees in the distance. And that actually works very nice because you've got green and red, which are complementary now. Well, this is not quite red, this is orange, but they're still knocking around in the same sort of ballpark of being complementary to each other. There we are. We don't have to do too much. I'm already running over time with this already. So I'm going to call it a day. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. As I said earlier, I'll catch each and every one of you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have fun. Happy painting wherever you are. Bye-bye.